Bring him from the yard.
And I would like to thank my first mate supporters, Andre Cruz. This is Down the Diecast Pirate, and today I have for you a build-off with Matchbox Mark, Part Deux. Or, I think that's how you say that. Deux? Deux? D-E-U-X? Part Deux. Yeah. Part 2. Deux is like Latin for two, I think. For sure. I could be wrong about that. I don't know about a lot of things. Sometimes I think I do, and then I think about it and realize maybe I don't. So, I don't know. Let's get it on the turntable and take a look at it. Get you down off the trailer first, Don. Come on now, get with the program. Get that Silverado out of the way. Okay. Hey, you, grab that Ford. Alright. So, my idea for this one is, and I'll show you the base here in a second, and part of why I want to do this. And I want you to also realize that I have two others of this car that are either in a condition that they shouldn't be restored, or they should be. They're almost good enough to not restore, but they could use a restoration to be perfect. They cut the glass out, the windows, and that's supposed to be solid. So the front, originally this car had the front windows down and the back windows were up, and they cut those out. It looks like the back end was coming apart, and they tried to super glue it, and it wasn't holding. So they drilled it and put this big screw in there. Now, the idea I have for this, anyway, what we're gonna do, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner and see what we can do to get some of this paint off of here. I don't know if it's gonna help remove it or not, but that's what we're gonna do. I also don't understand what this thing is sticking out of the back bumper, but my idea is we're gonna cut the back end out of the interior. We're going to cut the back seat out, and we're going to narrow where the wheels go and tub it and turn this thing into a Pro Street. And I'm thinking like a satin black finish with chrome, right? Chrome bumpers, grill, you know, with the known oil in there and everything, and I'll probably make a new windshield for it. We may leave the back windows out or fill them in with something. Might really go out on this one. Maybe we'll move these. I don't really want to get into all that, but we could possibly move these B pillars back and turn it into a two-door. That might take more work than I want to put into this, but we'll wait and see how much work it takes to get. This should be a fun one, guys. This should definitely be a fun one. Alright, so put this thing through the ultrasonic cleaner, and whatever this is that was on the outside is coming right off. And looking at it closer, it looks like there was several layers of paint on here. And whatever this was is, looks like they clear coated it with something. It's coming right off of there and everything. And so looking at it, I see orange, I see a red, a black, like another red maybe, I don't know. There were several different coats of paint on there. You gotta get all this off of there. Hey, it's taking that original white paint off too. I'm gonna have to go ahead and take this thing to the sink and clean it up the best I can before we take it apart. And let me do that, and then we'll come back and take a look at what we have here. Looks like maybe there's some green paint too. Somebody really liked to paint this car, I'll tell you that. Alright. Alright, so before I actually take this thing apart and finish stripping it, I took it to the sink and I scrubbed it off, and I took a hobby knife and I was scraping the paint off. Now, I kind of wanted to see what that light was that was glued on top, but it went down the drain, so we're not going to worry about that. It looks like they put some JB Weld in these holes to fill them in, and that one fell out, but you know. But what I really wanted to show you, so there was clear coat, red, orange, looks to be like maybe a silver color, black, green, and a darker orange or red. So this thing was painted several times. I just wanted to, you know, kind of wanted to just do some digging and find out what was done to this. You know, what's the history of this car? You know, how many? There was a kid that loved this car, and he wanted to paint it. Hey, the headlight's still there. Yay! So I'm not exactly sure why there was a screw put on there, but at least we know the headlight's intact underneath that. So, alright, let me get this apart and we'll get it stripped down and see what we have to work with. Alright, so we got almost 100% paint removal with the awesome sauce. We'll do a little bit of deburring and some polishing. You know, we're not really going to do any modifications to the body, well, except we are going to take off the ridges on the lights there and fill those in. It looked like before the person that filled them in with solder, and I have some JB Weld, so we're going to give that a shot and see how that goes for us. Alright, it looks like somebody scraped the hood too at one point, because that was not me. Okay. So, I got the top of the car sanded down, deburred it, got the wheel wells in the back radiused so the tires don't rub now. One thing that I found was on this base, it was tweaked. So when they put the screw in and screwed it into the bottom of the interior, it actually, where this sits on here, if I can get it together, it actually pulled the interior down and pulled the base up. That's how tight it went in there. And then I went ahead and cut off the police things, the orange cones, which aren't orange in the car, but and the medical box and whatever this thing was in the back, looked like a electronic testing equipment or whatever. Cut all that out, put a flat piece of styrene in, so it's going to have a flat floor in the back. I was originally thinking about cutting out the back seat, but just looking at the way this interior is, and also thinking about how some guys will keep the inside of the car looking stock, because this is supposed to be a street car that you take to the drag strip. It's not really a drag car, so that's what we're doing with that. Now I got tape on here covering up these holes. Originally I saved a piece of it. I don't know what happened to it. It looked like, because they never took the car apart, they'd used solder, and those pieces just pushed right out. And I'm hoping by putting this JB Weld in that it's going to stick better. I'm also going to fill in this hole in the back where the screw went through. I have used JB Weld like this, 2-part epoxy, in the past. This isn't really an epoxy, I don't know what you call this stuff. It's a steel and hardener. I have used this stuff in the past in automotive applications, but that's been a long time ago. Thank Mr. JB Weld himself, Jim Silva, for showing everybody how to do this. So I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to need. That looks like that should be more than enough. for all 3 holes, plus once I add the hardener in. And I'm going to set it down right beside it. Alright, so I kind of wanted to get that somewhat flattened out in there. When I took this one apart to get the window out, this is the glass out of this car originally. I put it back in there just to have the car whole, but I have more coming from Europe, Great Britain actually. Modelcarparts.com is where I bought the replacement glass for these. So this light unit is actually an indentation in the glass that it sits down in. So I kind of wanted to get this as flush as possible. So when I go to, once this is all hardened, if I do have to remove some material underneath, it won't be that much and I won't have to spend that much time on it. The one on the base, that'll be good. I won't have to grind that down or file it or anything. It'll be out of the way and it won't interfere with anything. So we'll set these aside. At this point, once this is done, then I'll probably come back and show you the paint colors and things like that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is later the same day, and I think normally you want to let this stuff set up for 24 hours, and what I did is I put it through 2 cycles in the air fryer at 150 degrees for 15 minutes. And it seems like it's set up very well. Now, that heat did make that a little more sticky, but I think if we throw some primer and paint on that, got a little bit there, and it just came off my thumbnail. Probably just throw a little filler putty on that, and smooth it out. And once we primer this, you're not even going to be able to tell from the outside. So that's what it looks like on the inside. I don't know if I mentioned it in another video. I saw that Andrew at Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers was talking about these little boxes, and I think I did mention it, but I forgot to mention what they are. So these are crayon boxes that I got at Walmart for $1 each. It just helps me keep my builds organized. Okay. Okay. So it's got a little bit of a fitment issue there because of how thick the JB weld is right in that spot. So I'll probably just take a tool on the Dremel and get in there and grind that down some until the glass fits like it should. Now, this is the glass I got out of the donor car, and it's cracked there. All 3 of the cars that I got off of eBay, I checked the one up in the case. It was in better condition than those, and all 3 of the cars were showing stress cracks in the glass a little bit. I don't know if those are showing up. There we go. See how it's showing stress cracks there? So what I may do, if I have this car done and everything before the prize drawing, is once I get those replacement glass in from the UK, I'll probably put one of those in this car so it has a really good glass. My other idea on this, because the interior is getting ready to be painted right now, so I don't have it, but like there's those pieces I was telling you about that I cut off. So whatever this is, it looks like it's some kind of police equipment that was in the back of it. I don't know, I may use this for something in the future, I don't know. And then you had the medical kit. And then there was three, I think there was 3 of these cones that had to cut off. But they actually, when they drilled the hole through the car to put that screw in, they actually, can't get a hold of it. It actually messed one up. That's the most decent one. I don't know what I would ever use that for, but it's really quick. I just put the Tamiya putty on there and on the car. So I already ground down inside. This will have to be cleaned off for probably, I'm not going to pull that window back out right now and show you, but I haven't even tested it yet. I just went in there and ground that down, so when I put the window in, it'll go all the way up. And I was thinking about not painting the base, but since I did that to it, we probably will. Alright, so we have the Stanley black primer on the car. Got a little bit of discoloration in the roof. That won't matter once the paint is on. We're going to put gloss black, and this is Auto Air colors, and Auto Air and Wood Color colors merged. So if you look up Auto Air colors, you won't find it, but you will find Wicked colors. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you my customized Mercury police wagon. Complete. Let's get it up on the turntable and I'll talk about everything I did to it. We stripped it of all the heavy kid paint that was on it. I got a replacement glass out of another car. Went with the green light replacement wheels from the wheel pack, which is like a dragster type wheel, the big ones in the back, little ones in the front. Used the original suspension, the same as I did on that pickup with the build off with Ron over at Somo Diecast. So we filled in the holes where the lights were originally in the roof, cut off the accessories in the back of the vehicle, put in a flat piece of styrene just to fill that in, painted the interior black primer with Stanley black primer, and then I went over it with Nolan oil. I went over the entire interior with Nolan oil. I used the old gold color on the base, the steering wheel, the inside of the steering wheel, the door handles, the surrounds on the taillight, the door handle on the back gate, the key on the back gate. I went with the silver metallic Sharpie on the inside of the lights and then covered it with the Tamiya clear red. Also went over the silver Sharpie over all 4 headlights. And the outside headlights, I put Molotov on them, just made them chrome. Did the Tamiya clear orange for the front turn signals, and then the inner headlights went with the Tamiya red clear. The finish on the body is satin black, and this is also the first car that I painted the screws on the bottom, on the grill, and the front license plate there. I took the silver metallic Sharpie and I colored in the letters, and then I took the Nolan oil and filled in the grill, and also went around the letters on the license plate just to make it different. And also the slots in the front bumper, which would be actually cutouts and would be looking dark underneath there. As a comparison, okay, I have the car that I used as the donor for the glass. So the glass that's in the donor is the glass that was originally in this car, and you can see that there was no way that I could make that clear. But as it comes around, you can tell how the stance of the car is different. You know, it just has that mean rake that looks like it's ready to do business. You know, it's a hot rod wagon, and I love it, and I'm going to be so proud to give it to one of you guys. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll be at 300 subscribers, and we can go ahead and do the drawing. It's Friday right now. Last I checked, we're at 298. And I am so blessed to have you guys subscribing to me and watching my videos and welcome me into the community. My good friends in the Diecast Mafia and just everybody. You know, I really appreciate it. So leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of this. Let's get this other car out of there so you can see what's going on. Ring the bell for notifications. Click that like button for me. As always, this is Don the Diecast Pirate, and I'll see you next time. Why are we stopping? Okay. Hmm.